Thank you so much, and welcome to everybody to this fantastic chapter. Mark, we need to work on putting the fountain back in the piazza. As we know, this chapter is named after my grandfather, Mayor Joe Alioto, and I'm very proud to be here and to give you my endorsement in this place. This is a little strange to me standing behind these signs because, for many months, for about a year, I put my life, blood, sweat, and tears into this campaign, and it's been a real pleasure being in this race with Mark, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to endorse him after I decided to get out of the race. One of the first things I noticed when I got into this race, and Mark, as I'm sure noticed it as well, is the diverse interest of this particular district. District 3 goes from Hunters Point all the way up through the small towns of Marin to the rolling hills of Sonoma Valley, where my friends in the wine industry and the farm industry and the dairy industry up there are so very interested in what happens in this particular race. And that's one of the reasons why I'm supporting Mark Leno in this particular race, because Mark Leno is uniquely qualified to represent the interests of the people throughout this district. He's always had an open door in all the meetings that I've had in Sacramento. People say, although I'm not supporting him, he's always had an open door, and he's a nice guy, and he'll listen to you. We now need to get those people to support Mark Leno so that Mark Leno can uniquely, and I say this uniquely, represent the interests of everybody in this district. And it's one thing about Sonoma County where I also own some property up there, and I've spent a lot of time meeting with the people. This sign, Mark, is a very small sign to someone whose front yard is 300 acres. So we need to get these signs to be the 4x8 signs. We need to put them up all over San Francisco now. We need to make sure that we beat the Marin County guy. Mark is qualified to challenge the people of this district and the people of this state on some very important problems, whether it's the problems in the southeastern side of the city and how people are treated there, or whether it's the transportation corridors in Marin County, or the environmental issue that is going to really require some bold ideas and is going to require some bucking of the system. And Mark is the type of person that can do that in a really congenial fashion with respect and with the dignity of the office that he deserves. So Mark Leno, it is my pleasure to give you my endorsement in this race. I will work for you for the next 2 months to make sure that we get these signs up all over Sonoma County, all over the cafes in San Francisco, the Italians, the African Americans, the Chinese, the farmers, the dairymen, everybody that has supported me in this particular race. We're going to get them on board this campaign. We're going to get them involved, and we're going to make sure that Mark Leno becomes our next senator to San Francisco State. So thank you all for coming. Mark Leno, the next senator.
Thank you, Joe. Let me say that I'm humbled and honored to be standing in San Francisco's magnificent Beaux-Arts Civic Center Plaza, appropriately named after Mayor Joe Alioto, and to be surrounded by Joe Veronese, Mayor Newsom, and so much of the elected family here in San Francisco. I'm sorry that my good friend Kamala Harris, District Attorney, cannot be with us today, and members of the Community College Board as well, Dr. Anita Greer, Natalie Bird, Milton Mark. She's got just about everybody. It's a long list, as they say. It's very humbling to have the kind of support of the elected officials in San Francisco now strongly behind this Senate candidacy. I want to thank John Hanley and my friends, the firefighters, for your support, and you are in good company. This past weekend, we picked up the endorsement of the California Teachers Association, along with the California Nurses Association. We're hopeful we're going to get the California Federation of Teachers next weekend, and the list continues to grow. Because this is not so much a fight for geography as it is for progressive representation. This has now become a two-person race, according to just about every poll that is out at this time. It's a race between Joe Nation, former assemblyman from Marin County, and me. And the differences on policy are very stark. There's quite a difference, and we'll be spending the next 2 months identifying what those differences are. Issues of the day. For example, whereas on a statewide spokesperson and leader on the issue of single-payer universal health care reform, Joe argues against it. Not only argues against it, voted against the repeal single-payer bill when he was in the state assembly. As we look forward to the election of our former state senator, Jackie Spear, to the U.S. Congress tomorrow, fingers are crossed, we think she'll do very well. I'm reminded that when Senator Spear was moving forward her landmark privacy legislation, consumer privacy legislation, that Joe Nation, again, not only would not support it, but was carrying legislative water for the banking and credit card industries that Jackie was trying to reform. And Mayor Newsom, you may have read the papers, that not long after you took the historic and courageous and right step in issuing marriage licenses to same-sex couples here in 2004, Joe Nation was quoted as saying it was a mistake, that you handed a defeat to John Kerry, which every voter analysis clearly proves is a misassessment of what happened in November of 2004. And as the mayor repeatedly has said, you can't put a price tag on equality. You're either for it or you're not. With regard to the war in Iraq, a very important issue, not only to the voters of San Francisco, but in Marin County and Sonoma as well, when Joe ran against Congresswoman Lynn Woolsey in 2006. He was initially opposed to a timetable for withdrawing our troops. He said it's not a matter of time, it's a matter of condition. Later suggested, well, probably about a year's time, opposing Lynn Woolsey's call for an immediate withdrawal of our troops from Iraq. And whereas I had co-authored a resolution with my colleague, Assemblywoman Lonnie Hancock from Berkeley, to bring California's National Guard home, Joe, unlike 30 of our other colleagues, refused to sign on as a co-author of that resolution. So again, we'll have 2 months now to debate policies. Joe's positions are valid positions, and he's welcome to them. I'm making a statement that they're not the values and positions of the voters of San Francisco, Marin, and Sonoma County. So we've got a fight on our hands. I'm very confident with this kind of support, how could I lose? Thank you so very, very much for being here today. You warm my heart. You give me energy. We're going to win on June 3rd, just 2 months from tomorrow. And thank you, Joe, so much for your support.